Let's move on and talk about the migrant crisis, because nearly 700 migrants crossed the Channel on small boats on Friday. That's the largest daily number this year. Of course, this is despite Rishi Sunak promising to stop the boats. So the provisional total so far is 12,119. It's slightly below last year's for this time last year. Of course, I think we saw 44,000 coming in. It's predicted we could have 88,000 coming in this year. Also, Priti Patel is saying, well, actually, stopping the boats is much more difficult than it's being made out to be. She tweeted, stopping the boats is much harder than the government thought it would be, and said there is no single solution to stopping the boats, as the government, and this is a bit sort of pithy, the government has now finally discovered. So obviously putting the knife in slightly there. Joining us now, Kevin Saunders, former Border Force Chief Immigration Officer. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, David.
It's going well, isn't it?
Oh, wonderful, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful.
So what do you make of this? Rishi Sunak is staking his political reputation on stopping the boats. The boats are not stopping. I thought it was also very, very interesting. Obviously, we've got the Rwanda plan. We've got the illegal migration bill going through the House of Lords. It's in its final stages at the moment. And I read this morning that Rwanda, deporting migrants to Rwanda, is the only way to stop the small boats illegally crossing the Channel. This is according to Lord Ken Clarke, the former Home Secretary. He basically says this is the only way forward.
Yes, well, it is the only way forward. We have got no other plan. We cannot convince our French friends to get their boats on the Channel and stop the people coming across. So we have got to have a big deterrent, and Rwanda, I'm afraid, is the big deterrent. If we ever get it through the courts.
Well, that's a very good point. Also, just in terms of the illegal migration bill, which is going through the House of Lords, it's in the final stages. It's had the third reading, actually. But clearly, there were 20 defeats on the government's plan to detain and deport anyone arriving illegally to safe third country like Rwanda. But also, on Tuesday, there is the opportunity to try and push this bill through. I mean, clearly, you've got the House of Commons thinking one thing, the House of Lords thinking quite another. At the moment, more and more people are coming in. The Rwanda scheme hasn't got off the ground. Rishi Sunak has basically stuck this behind his head and said, judge me on this. So how do you think this is going to unfold from here?
Well, I'm afraid that if we don't get Rwanda through, it isn't going to work. Nothing else is going to work, because we've tried basically everything you can possibly think of. And so really a Rwanda plan, or something very close to Rwanda, has got to be the last gasp.
So the question I have, though, just in terms of the numbers that Rwanda can take, and I understand it being a deterrent, but my understanding is it's 200 initially, which isn't very many when you consider what the numbers that have come in so far.
No, this was raised with the Prime Minister last week, and he said the number is unlimited. So whether we've negotiated for the Rwandans to take more or not, I don't know. But,
so my understanding is initially it's 200 with the option to then extend to more.
Yes, with that extend. But the thing is, David, the thing that is going to stop the people is the fact that as soon as we get Rwanda through, if we do, and we start removing people, they're going to be saying, well, hang on, I'm not going to pay up to €5,000 to come across the Channel and then stand the chance of being sent back to where I came from. They just won't do it, and that will be the big deterrent. It's financial. They won't risk spending money to go back to where they started from.
So in terms of the portfolio of options, and we talked about Rwanda, now Britain's first asylum camp is going to open this week with gyms, with jogging machines, canteens, free mobile phones for Channel migrants. This is the disused RAF Wethersfield base near Braintree in Essex, and apparently it will accept its first 120 migrants directly from crossing the Channel once they've crossed the Channel, and they will expand up to 1,700. And then we also think that an asylum barge is going to be towed to Portland in Dorset within 2 weeks. RAF Scampton opening in mid-August. Is this the answer?
Yeah, yes, this is an answer, because it's much cheaper if you concentrate large numbers of people on these facilities. We can't keep going into hotels. I mean, You commented earlier that we got 1,000 coming across. We had 1,000 coming across the channel this weekend. How many hotels is that going to be? You know, you're looking at probably 20 or 30 hotels there at £150 a night. Where the bill is almost 7 million a day now. You know, that's an awful lot of money. Whereas if we can put them into the ex-military bases, the actual costing goes down to something in the region of £50 a night. So it makes economic sense.
I hadn't actually joined the dots, and someone was saying the reason that hotel prices, if you look at hotel prices, if you're trying to book for a break, have gone up so dramatically is because the Home Office have booked them all.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, you're right. The supply and demand for the likes of you and me is a real problem, because you can't get into hotels, so other hoteliers are making money while, hey, the sun shines, they're putting the prices up. I tried to find a hotel in Kent and it was almost impossible.
Well, absolutely, and I just wonder what your thoughts are on this. This with the opening of RAF Wethersfield near Braintree in Essex, the migrants will be free to leave for up to 7 days at a time, or for 14 days with any 6-month period. Now, residents are very worried about the impact that will have. They think they will walk the 2 miles into the nearest village with shops, cafes, pubs and restaurants. Is that the right thing to do, to allow people to leave for that sort of length of period?
Personally, I wouldn't be letting them leave at all. I would be detaining everybody in these camps. I think that would act as a deterrent as well. But I'm sure that the migrant helplines and the charities will now be sticking pins in me for saying that. But the answer, I think, is detention. I'd like to go back to what we had in 2004, where we had detained detention, where we put workers, asylum workers, into the facilities and did the claims virtually straight away, and that worked. You would put somebody into detention, and within a week you would have a decision about removal or non-removal. Not that we can remove them, but we could still go through the issues.
Just one final thought here. Derwentside, which is a removal centre which is in County Durham, has been condemned by the Independent Monitoring Board, apparently, because the Wi-Fi is too slow and it has no local hair salon. It goes on to say that the women-only facility is a long drive from the southeast, a journey that may leave illegal migrants tired, disorientated or stressed.
Yes, it's awful, isn't it? Absolutely awful for these people. I mean, there are 17 people detained there, and they are people that are scheduled for removal, and they can't get Wi-Fi. My heart bleeds for them, really. It really is sad. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and I'm sure that your viewers and listeners will concur with that.
I'm sure they will. Kevin, very good to talk to you. That's Kevin Saunders, former Border Force Chief Immigration Officer. What do you make of that? The Wi-Fi's too slow. Oh, it's very stressful to go to County Durham.
I mean, you know, if this is what asylum seekers, you know, I mean, I'm sure this isn't what they were promised. Look, I mean, it's very...
They were promised faster speeds.
Oh, yeah, what can I say? You should come down to bits of London where I'm at, you know, talk about bad Wi-Fi. Yeah, I mean, I think, look, it's a massive, massive crisis, as, you know, Priti Patel is not shy about highlighting, and I think that what we have... None of these are, like, politically, you know, appealing solutions here, where it's like you have people who, once they've arrived, you're trying to deport them. Obviously, the courts are frustrating the Rwanda scheme, so where do you put them? And every single issue is like whack-a-mole, sort of you smash one and the others jump up.
And so do you think Rwanda will get through?
I think that they will. Yeah, I think it'll get approved, because I was surprised by the Court of Appeal's verdict. I think if you look at what the Supreme Court's been saying and acting in recent cases, I think it probably will be achieved. The key question that you stumbled on, David, was you know, only sending 200 people there, and you've got a backlog of 50,000 or so. You know, is that going to make a
I think it's bigger than that. Exactly, something like 140,000. I mean, it's an extraordinary number. But James, thank you very much for the moment.